I'm Johanna McDowell. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called the Independent Agency Search and Selection Company. And what we do is we help clients choose their agencies of all types, whether it's advertising, creative, digital, media, PR, etc. And we help agencies improve their credentials, improve their hit rate, and generally perform better. The reason I would recommend a client using a service like ours is because it is quite impossible for busy marketers to know all of the agencies that could be available to them at any time. Our job, we spend 100% of our time researching agencies, not just putting lists together, but actually finding out what's really going on in those agencies under the bonnet, as it were. So we spend a lot of time on that. We also spend a lot of time understanding clients, marketers, ecosystems, their marketing ecosystems, so that we understand what's happening within marketing and where the pain points are and what clients need to focus on. So that's why I would encourage marketers to use a service like ours. It's highly specialized. What normally drives a pitch? Well, there are normally 3 or 4 reasons. One could be simply that the marketer is looking at his ecosystem, his or her ecosystem, and saying, okay, I need an agency that can provide this service, or I need an agency that can provide that service. And they're all just different disciplines. And increasingly, those disciplines are becoming more and more specialized. So the days of the one-size-fits-all agency are probably over, simply because of the way marketing has fragmented, especially across the digital spectrum. So what drives a pitch is the need for a particular kind of agency. What also could drive a pitch could be that a marketer has worked with a certain agency for a number of years and might want to just look around and see, well, what else is out there? Do I have the best? Should I be looking at something else? Or it could be a whole new product category that has been introduced into that marketer's ecosystem, in which case they would need a different type of agency. I think the ability to listen, the ability to read a brief and actually digest it and return with sensible, intelligent questions, and a reasoned response, a revert, which has got a good rationale behind it. Those are certainly what standouts, what makes agencies stand out in a pitch process, for sure. Yeah, the ability to deliver what the client is requesting, and then yes, perhaps after actually showing the client what they wanted, to then actually show them what they could have over and above that. I think that also makes an agency stand out. It shows that they've really demonstrated their thinking capabilities. You know, there are the sort of what I would call the hygiene factors. So what is the agency's track record? How have they done in the past? Do they have a history of working on certain types of brands? Do they have particular disciplines that will be relevant to that marketer? So we build all those criteria into the evaluation process. But a very important part of the search process is to discover the chemistry. And chemistry is not just about, oh, we all sat around and we had cups of coffee and we all chatted to each other. That's the easy bit of chemistry. Chemistry is about the ability of both parties to really be able to work together, and to see how each other is working, and for the client to be able to see how that agency would fit in to their market, their organization, and for the agency to also have a thought about, well, can we work with this client or can't we? Will we be able to do great work for this client, or will it be a difficult process? So the chemistry aspect of within the selection of an agency is a critically important one, along with the the team that will be working on the client's business. If that team is not strong enough or doesn't have the right background and qualifications, then it's not going to work. Look at what the client is looking for. So a client might come to us and say, I need an agency that can do this. But before we start looking at agencies, we actually say, okay, hang on a second. What else? What are your business objectives? What is it you want to achieve within your business, and why do you think you need that kind of agency? So we spend a lot of time at the beginning asking more questions around how, what sort of agency they're looking for and why. And then what we do is we look at all of our data, and we have a vast amount of data over the last 17 years of doing all of this. And whether it's local or international, whether it's across Africa, we have data where we know which agencies exist, we know who's there, we know what their client lists are, etc. And then we gradually sift through to find a suitable range of agencies who could perhaps have the capabilities to achieve what that client is looking for. That's how we put together a list. Why would we be selected? I think there's two reasons. The one is because of our knowledge about the agencies that exist in South Africa and even globally, and we make sure we stay on top of what's relevant for agencies by understanding what's going on in the larger environment, as well as in South Africa and Africa. That would be the first reason. And the second reason would be because we spend quite a lot of time understanding what clients' needs are and understanding marketing ecosystems and how they are changing, and how agencies need to fit in with that. So I think that that's what gives us our superpower. Particular products that we use, which we've invented and created ourselves. They are technology driven, so it's online. Some of it's part online, part in person. So we have what we call a TLC, which is a 80 question thorough examination of relationships, and both the agency team and the client team evaluate each other and themselves. When we get all those results, we put a big report together, which we present back to both parties in the room together. We identify the gaps and we identify what needs to be done. So that's what I would call the flagship product that we have. We also then have a smaller version of that, which is called a honeymoon helper, which is designed to be used in the first 6 months of a new client agency relationship. And then we have something called the snapshot, which is a 10 to 15 question study, which can be done at any time in a client agency relationship. So that's how we measure whether